The Amazing Spider-Man from a decade ago to present-day Garfield. This week we're taking a look at Marvel Legends' The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man. A teenage Peter Parker with great hair impersonates a student, breaks into a secure location, and is bitten by an amazing radioactive spider. After some Spider-Man training brought to you by Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Peter learns that with great guilt comes great responsibility.
I'm so bad at this!
Articulation, bruh.
There is no neck articulation, but you do get some down on that ball joint. Up a little bit more. There is some rotation and a good amount of tilt. He can do the twists, but it's all going to come from that upper torso. He also gets a good amount of tilt through that same joint. The inverted ab crunches this much forward. And while they may call him Peter 3, with this sort of matrix maneuvers, he's the one for sure. Arms rotate all the way around without being impeded. The butterfly joint does allow him to cross over like Uncle Ben. Going backwards, it's the same issue I had with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I think a ball joint inside isn't allowing it to fully extend backwards. But there is a bicep swivel, a pinless double jointed elbow, arms ball and hinge all the way up and then some. Hands rotate and hinge up and down. Legs kick straight up. Not great for a Spider-Man, but if you use those drop down hips, you can get him into those deeper crouching poses. There's also a upper thigh swivel, a pinless double jointed knee, no boot swivel, feet hinge down, hinge up, and rocks like cooking rice in under 2 minutes.
Wait, what? How do you know that?
Uncle Ben said it. Accessories! Does this purse go with my bra, bruh?
The Amazing Spider-Man comes with a set of thwipping hands, a right-fisted hand, and a left relaxed hand. Guess including the other hands from the 3-pack wasn't in the budget, but not including 2 relaxed hands for a Spider-Man this sarcastic is like forgetting to include a knife for Crocodile Dundee.
That's not a knife, that's a spoon.
All right, you win. I see you've played knifey spoony before.
Looking at a side-by-side, this is a good likeness to Andrew Garfield, but the neutral expression takes away from one of the most expressive Spider-Men.
Go sit yourself.
Even without utilizing the drop-down hips, the Amazing Spider-Man can go sit himself.
Alright, first up we've got the Marvel Legends Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man fishing for an adjustment. And doing the DX chop better than most Marvel Legends, the Toy Biz Amazing Spider-Man. And following suit, the Marvel Legends Final Swing Spider-Man. And the only thing quicker than Uncle Ben's rice, the quicksand that is the Sandman. And next up, they must have clipped his wings, cause this jailbird ain't going nowhere. Here's Vulture. And with Venom 3 about to release this year, I hope we get an Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy head sculpt. Here's Venom. And lastly, rocking a cloth cape, putting the wizard in WizKid, here's Doctor Strange. And if I wasn't so fearful of getting arrested, I would absolutely put on a tracksuit and a ski mask this Halloween. Here's the Tracksuit Mafia. Speaking of suits, the best damn journalist on YouTube, here's Jonah J. Jameson.
Think on sexy thoughts. Think on sexy thoughts.
My buddy Ben, who's now an uncle, had this figure laying around his house growing up. This was before I started collecting. It was my first time handling a figure with this good of articulation. Fast forward 10 years later, and in some ways it still holds up. Hell, I'm still impressed with the sculpted web pattern and how it reflects light. The saturation on the red looks better than the darker version of the suit. I also prefer the slightly relaxed web shooting hands. It's more natural than the stiff web shooting hands we get here. And for those wondering, yes, they fit in the new release, but the colors don't match. More than anything though, I gotta say the articulation on the limbs has better range than most modern day Legends. Just look at these butterfly joints going backwards. And you know what? It's even better going forwards. The fact that the elbows can cross over is insane. Plus there's boot swivel to boot. But that's where the comparisons stray. The Marvel Legends team has improved both proportions and the engineering, from the pinless double jointed joints to the new drop down hips. like extending down without the legs jutting out from the hips like some other figures.
Yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh?
The head movement is about the same, just less gappage. Only now we have the attitude expected from a quippy crime fighter. The inverted ab crunch and double ball joint combo gives you the range needed for most Spider-Man poses. But not being able to look all the way up or all the way down can be frustrating. Crafty Gecko has a tutorial on how to mod the head and butterfly joint to get more range. Check that out if you're a customizing type. I like to talk about modding my figures, but I never do.
You're a phony! Hey, everybody! This guy's a great big phony!
I also picked up his custom pointing hands off Etsy to get that shot of Spider-Man pointing at each other. If you're looking to add some accessories to get your collection going, check out Crafty Gecko on Instagram and Etsy. There's no hinge on the hands, but it is a snug fit and the paint matches nearly perfectly. For those wondering, here's how the unmasked head sculpt looks on some of the suited bodies. The skin tone matches best with the movie Professor Xavier, but none of the civilian bodies fit the neck. You can fake it by not pushing all the way down and letting the head sit on the neck loosely. So this is like a full circle moment for me as a collector and a clear indicator of how far action figures have come. Not just in proportions and likeness to the character, but also engineering and the articulation to get them into all the poses that they're known for. Of course, it's not perfect, hence why I had to search out for custom accessories. So while I won't be getting rid of the old Amazing Spider-Man anytime soon, I'm curious to know how much Marvel Legends will improve in another 10 years. Make sure to like and subscribe, ding, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with ya brah. And remember, collect responsibly. Why am I pointing? I don't know.